Folks, it don't get no fresher than that right there. Look at how pretty that tomato is. Nice. Softening up real good. Still got a few more days to go. But I got some white bread right there. Got my mayonnaise, my salt and pepper. Just crying out for a nice big slice of fresh tomato. Won't be long now. Hey guys, I thought I'd just throw that in there at the beginning. That's going to make a nice tomato sandwich here another few days or so. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is the greenhouse that I'm building. Is it worth it? Why you should maybe consider a greenhouse, and some of those things. And I'll start with this. Basically, to me, from what I have seen in my almost a year of growing inside a greenhouse, it's easier to manage plants inside up under the plastic than it is outside exposed to the elements, so to speak. So if you're somebody who is looking at gardening, doesn't have any experience with gardening, would like to learn something, best thing I could tell you to do as far as YouTube goes is go find Donald Webcajun. Everybody knows him. He's like the godfather of gardening on YouTube anyway. He's planted just about everything in his garden at some point in time and made a video of it. So you can go watch that, learn from it, and then downsize it to grow inside of a greenhouse, hoop house, whatever kind of structure you want to put up, and go from there. Now, I've enjoyed watching the videos of the people who are just getting started with their hoop houses. Most of them, you know, kind of small. You got to start small and work your way up. And seeing the excitement in their posts and their videos and their comments and things, how much they enjoy it, just reconfirms, you know, what I have been feeling about the same process. It's pretty cool. And one of the guys that I saw recently, they got a greenhouse. Y'all probably know him, Southern Prepper 1, David. Him and his buddy Scott, Engineer 775. They got him, looks like about a 12 by or 10 by 12 or something like that. Looks like a little Harbor Freight greenhouse that they're working on. And it's pretty cool to see those guys going down this route. And to me, this is just a different way to do the prepping deal. And I'll put it like this. We do the canning, dehydrating, all the freezing, you know, all that kind of stuff, trying to put up food. But suppose your house burns down and no longer do you have your stored food. You've got to figure out some way to start growing it. So you need to have some type of plans to have a garden, a greenhouse, or something like that. One of the things that David did a while back, I guess 3 or 4 months ago, something like that, one of his videos, he did a lot of scenario stuff. And one of the things that he did, he was standing in his garden, and he made the comment he didn't know what he was going to do if they didn't make the garden this year. Now, I just ask you this question, being as how we're just about to the end of the season. How many people had trouble with the garden this year? You look at the floods up and down the Mississippi, the early spring rains, it just kept going and going and going, and kept a lot of people out of the garden until it was pretty late. Hailstorms, tornadoes, and that little thing down in Texas where they basically turned it into a pizza oven with 100 and some degree heat every single day and no rain. It was rough. Even for me around here, it was a hot summer, and it was a little bit more difficult growing outside. But I wasn't too concerned about it. I knew I'd make what I could out there and then shift gears and keep on growing inside. So back to David's situation where he said he didn't know what he'd do if they didn't make the garden. Another thing that you could look at in doing this, suppose you planted your beans, your corn and stuff outside and used up the seeds that you had. You got a nice crop coming on, and then, you know, a storm comes by and wipes it all out. The only thing you have left is what you can round up, maybe a little handful of seeds, and you're figuring out how you're going to take this and plant what you need next year. If you got a greenhouse, what I did in here, I took 4 plants. It was a snap pea, some kind of thing, and grew them out, let them dry out, and took those seeds from 4 plants and had enough seed to plant a 75-foot row. That's another advantage to having a greenhouse. If you have a messed up crop season, you have a chance to grow a few more plants through the wintertime to build up your seed base for the next year. As for whether or not this would be worth it, I believe, there's going to come a time where it's not really going to matter how much money you have. If you got $10,000 in your pocket and you go to Walmart to buy bread and they don't have any bread, you're not going to get any bread. It's simple as that. And it's going to be the same way other places at some point in time. It wouldn't take much to just totally disrupt this supply chain, and you take your wad of money and go to the grocery store and come home empty because there's nothing in the store. So think about it. Greenhouses, it's not the end-all, be-all for anything. It's just another tool in your tool belt, so to speak, in addition to putting up all your canning, dehydrating and stuff like that. You need to figure out a way to replace some of that stuff, because if things fall apart and you start using up your stored items, you got a finite amount of food that you have, and you start using them up, you're going to end up having to ration yourself probably. So if you can replace those things on a recurring basis or grow something on the side to supplement it, you don't have to fall back on what you have canned and stuff like that so quickly. So to answer the question, is it worth it? Looking at everything that's going on around the world right now, just how bad things actually are, not believing the crap that you hear on television from the media. I mean, it's rough out there. I deal with it all the time. Poor people around here at the mobile home park, I'm used to it. I see it every single day, and it's not getting better. It's getting harder and harder and harder. So anything that you can do to put yourself in a position where you can grow your own food and get to the point where you are self-sufficient, self-sustaining, is well worth every single penny you put into it. I'm putting a fair amount of money into this next greenhouse, and I look at it like this. In the Bible, they talk about, Jesus said, whatever you do for the least of these, you did for me. And from my situation, I got a lot of least of these people around here. A lot of poor people who have trouble thinking as far in the distance as tomorrow, much less, a week, 3 months, a year, something like that. So those people are going to be needed taken care of. And on my YouTube page, I got Preparing to Provide. That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to try to work with the folks and provide for as many people as I possibly can. And if the money that I have, I use it toward that regard, I think it's money well spent. So that's just something to think about there, okay? So let's go on outside and see what's going on with the greenhouse. She's coming along pretty good now. Looks like we're finally making some progress. Got my sidewalls done, and today I'm working on framing up this west end right here. I don't like having to run 4x4 posts 12 foot tall like that, because as soon as they dry they're going to want to warp and twist, so I'm trying to frame it up real quick and keep that from happening. Looking at it from the end, left to right, I'm going to have a window, and then this big opening is where the build out for the stove is going to be. Then I'm going to have a door about 36 inches. I think I got it framed out 38 right now. Rough opening for a 36-inch door. Got a buddy who's supposed to be bringing me a solid glass door that he's got that he doesn't need anymore, so I'm going to put that in there. Then we're going to have a window, and under the window I'm going to have a motorized shutter that will be tied into a thermostat and an exhaust fan that will be on the other end of the greenhouse at the top. So when the temperature gets to whatever I determine needs to be exhausted, the fan will come on, the shutters will open, and we're in business. Down through the center, one of the situations that I had when I took those hoops, they were made to be 14 foot wide, and I opened them up. Anytime you take a hoop like that, then you stretch it out, expand it, you kind of lose the integrity of the hoop itself, which means you don't have the strength in the center of it. And I knew this when I started. It was all part of the initial consideration to build some supports in the middle. And so rather than going and putting 4x4 posts freestanding like this that I knew had a very good chance of warping, twisting all over the place, what I did, I took 3 2x4s, nailed them together, and then run my diagonals, and I've got it supported that way. It's very sturdy, and I think I can hang just about anything in here and not have to worry about pulling those hoops down. I can hang up a whole lot of tomatoes and cucumbers in here and be just fine. And what I did when I put these center posts in right here, I dug down pretty deep and poured some concrete to make me a footing, and then set my post in it, and then pour concrete and built up around that to get this up out of the dirt. So I think this pine inside the concrete should be fine. I shouldn't have any issues with rotting or anything like that. Most of the time, anytime you got wood coming in contact with the ground, it needs to be treated. But I think in this situation right here, being inside, it will be on the inside. I should be okay. Looking down the side right here, you can see I didn't do a bad job bending these hoops. Everything's not exactly right, but I got them pretty close. And right here, I put my first, I'm using a double channel. Basically what I'm going to do is run the plastic down from the top, tie into this channel, and I'm going to use the secondary channel to run to the bottom, and that's where my curtain is going to be, so I can roll the curtain up and get some ventilation on the side. This thing right here, this hoop house, is going to be designed to grow food in it 12 months out of the year. I don't have any intentions of stopping in July and August this time. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Hopefully we got a nice pretty 2 or 3 days coming up. I need to get a second layer of plastic put on the first greenhouse, and I might can get the first layer put on this one right here if I can hurry up and get the ends framed up, and we'll see what it looks next time. So I appreciate all y'all's support, and look forward to any ideas and suggestions y'all might have as far as ways that I can do this better, and we'll go from there. So y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.